Big changes are coming to Ocean Township, and they're not just small ones. The long vacant Orchard Plaza on Route 35 are about to get a complete transformation, and TFE Properties is leading the charge. We're talking new restaurants, retail, and office spaces that could completely reshape this part of town. But what does that mean for traffic, property values, and the people that already live here? On today's video, we're going to break it all down for you. Before we get started though, if it is your first time to the channel, my name is Steve McCutcheon, and I'm a realtor at Berkshire Hathaway. And on the Live in Central New Jersey channel, we cover everything related to the Central Jersey real estate market. So if you're going to be the first one to know what's going on in Monmouth or Ocean County real estate, feel free to click the bell, hit the subscribe button. Let's get this video started. To kick us off, let's talk about the site and its history. So Orchard Plaza was originally built back in the 1980s with an address of 1610 Route 35 South, and that's in Oakhurst and Ocean Township. It comprises of roughly 70,000 square feet, 2 buildings, and almost 17 suites. The current vacancy on it, though, is 85%. And if you know anything about commercial real estate, or I guess in real estate in general, that is extremely high. Because of the deterioration and the vacancies, the Township Planning Board and Council designate this area as a site of redevelopment. So something that needs to get uplifted and a little bit of a facelift. And honestly, can't really disagree with them there. But what about the new owners? So TFE Properties is based in East Windsor, New Jersey, and it's going to be in Mercer County, which is west of Ocean Township. And they announced back in August of 2025 that they purchased the Orchard Plaza to help modernize it and better serve the community. So off to a pretty good start there. The actual plans, though, are not yet finalized, but TFE has come out and said that the possibilities include a mixed-use upgrade aligned with smart growth principles. Essentially, when you hear mixed use, think retail space on the bottom and then apartments above, but we don't know that for sure just yet. They also pointed out that the nearby Netflix production campus over the former Fort Monmouth complex is already bringing increased traffic to the Route 35 corridor. So the timing for the redevelopment could be right, but could also bring increased traffic to the area. But why does all this really matter, right? So Route 35 is a major highway, especially in this region. Upgrades on here or redevelopment typically tend to raise some visibility and enhance nearby property values. So with the adjacent Netflix studio coming to town, increased demand for housing, retail, services, workforce, everything like that, housing prices tend to follow that, and this project really makes it pretty well positioned. So if you're a buyer looking in Ocean Township, it's probably a good idea to keep an eye on how this major redevelopment area works out between Orchard Plaza, the Netflix compound, and other ones in the area. So same thing can be said for the selling side. If you're near Route 35, Orchard Plaza, this area specifically, you could get a value uplift for your home prices based on everything happening. So you're also going to have to add in, local amenities that are being improved, traffic, infrastructure, and everything like that too. So this is probably a really good position to be in if you're looking for a buyer that's someone that's commuting to New York City or the Jersey Shore specifically. Let's also get into the community impact on this project and some potential concerns. Vacant malls and centers can typically drag down neighborhoods a little bit, and Orchard Plaza's high vacancy plus current condition really don't help it either. Now, I could be a little different because this is my job, but I'll go down a highway and I see a vacant plaza like that, and for me especially, in my head at least, I feel like the place is then run down. And that doesn't mean the whole township is, but if you're driving through and it's such an eyesore, I feel like it definitely can have an impact, because you're not going to turn around the corner and be like, oh, I want to buy this home right here, right next to this plaza that has graffiti all over and things like that. But with redevelopment, there can be some traffic, parking, and congestion concerns, especially if the new uses brings a big influx of visitors and employees. So I think it'll be really key for the township to coordinate infrastructure upgrades, traffic flow, signage, and pedestrian access. Residents may also worry about the type of redevelopment that's going to happen and if it really affects how it fits the character of the township. Also, what about the taxes and local schools? How is that going to play into effect too if you are redeveloping but not necessarily putting the funds towards those upgrades as well? The mayor, for one, though, said that they need something out of the box and dynamic for this site. So we'll have to kind of see exactly what they put into play here. But I know, for instance, one of the biggest talking points for the recent Netflix compound and the deal they worked out was that they were going to pay a specific they weren't going to pay traditional property taxes once the Netflix studio was up and running. What they were planning to do is just have an annual amount, and they pay specifically to Eatontown, but because they're not property taxes, those funds can be used for anything, not necessarily the schools. The last thing will be what to watch and just the timelines in general. So the next step would be the planning and zoning board approvals. Since this was designated an area of redevelopment, your next step is going to have a redevelopment plan that the public can then address and review too. Then afterwards, assuming everything is approved, construction and tenant rollout will take place. So TFE Properties, you want to watch when they break ground, and then afterwards, which tenants are signing on for leases in that area. And then last would be the real estate ripple effect on it. So you'll want to see which listings on the market will reference near Orchard Plaza redevelopment or something along those lines in the listing to kind of boost up the location a little bit. And of course, also check the prices, days on market, and that kind of thing, because if that's in the listing description and yet properties are still hanging out for a decent amount of time, then maybe it's not as important of a project for the people moving to this area. So those are all a couple of things you want to look out for during this project. So whether you are excited about new development or nervous about what this might bring, one thing is for sure, and that's that Ocean Township is on the move. Projects like this tend to push property values going higher, attract new businesses, and create more local demand, which can be good for homeowners and investors alike. If you're thinking about buying in the area before prices tend to climb, or want to know what your home is really worth, feel free to reach out. I'd love to help you plan your next move. And with that being said, feel free to comment, like, and subscribe, and let me know what you think about the Orchard Plaza redevelopment. Is this a great thing for Ocean Township, or will traffic concerns overshadow everything else? Have a great day.